another episode of Soul Talk. You're back with your favorite host. We have a special guest in the building today. He go by the name of Wilsurv. Will, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself if you have the floor.
Hi, everybody. I go by Wilsurv. On social media. I'm a digital creator, an entrepreneur, a part-time actor, and a professional, and a designer of my first sneaker. There's plenty to come, but this is my first one. Um, a lot of my journey I wrote about, a lot of my journey I filmed about. I've documented myself since 2012. I've traveled the world. I've served the country. I've have a professional life with the city of Atlanta that I enjoy. Um, I've always watched films growing up. A lot of films come from my man Richard Pryor here, and doing spoken word and doing comedy really bridged me into acting. My first film dropped on YouTube, independent. I was so happy to be a part of it. Love Jarman. Right behind that, I have my film that I've worked on. I've written, produced, and screen wrote. It's called Don't Let Me Down. And then I have a documentary on my sneakers where I get a lot of feedback all across the country, from Nashville to New York City to Houston, Texas to Hampton Roads, Virginia. And I just want to give everyone a glimpse of my sneaker. It's called the Skybox. It's created by me. I have other colors coming out. This is navy blue and white. Now, with the navy blue and the white, I really felt like more of creating with this sneaker would come back from feedback, but I already have other ones that I plan on dropping. But this sneaker right here is the blueprint. Let me make sure I get this in.
Go ahead.
And it's a high top, it's Italian leather. The link is in my bio on every platform that I'm on. Will serve from TikTok to IG to YouTube to Facebook um, to Twitter to LinkedIn. Anytime you check the link or any other platform, it'll redirect you to the places that you might want to check this out. I have an email subscription. I'm always looking for feedback, so you can drop some comments if you like on any type of digital content that I create on this. In the process of making a commercial also on this sneaker. Yes.
Oh, you just in the works.
Yes, but with all of that, there's always balance. So I try to meditate. I try to talk to my family, get any ideas of how I can do a little bit better to be the best version of myself. And I enjoy doing it. That's one of the things that I knew that I would love to be working professionally and being able to balance it with all my creations because I've always been so creative ever since I was 13 years old.
Wow. So let me ask you something. How did you get into being an actor? Like you said, you was an actor, part-time and professional. So how did you get into the acting field?
Well, it's no surprise, but it's a little bit of family ties. But with this last one of my friends, which is a lawyer, she was like, just go for it. And I went ahead and walked in, got my part, and showed up for the moment. As I got my part, I got more lines based off of like how I worked and was easily trainable. So,
okay.
but I have some family ties in the film industry, and they're on the West Coast, and I think of them as an inspiration. I know their journey. It's my uncle, and he's one of like the top influences in my family. So he's the blueprint, but really we all have our own like journey. So
Right.
mine at like the age that I'm at, yeah, it could pop off anytime, but like really I'm starting to understand everything I've been through and how I got to this moment and how everything's happening all so fast. So
And you know what? I'm glad that you said that because this is one thing that I learned myself recently. Like, even if you had that quick rise to fame, would you be able to handle it? And that's
right.
one thing that humbled me because I was making so many business moves so quickly. Like I just talked about this in my last podcast. Like I was making so many business moves so eagerly, so quickly, because I'm just like, I'm doing it. I'm a young black man, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, like I'm doing it. And them deals went so sour, so bad, so quick. And I'm just like, man, like that's like the biggest punch in the gut ever. So I'm definitely learning that now to where it's like you really have to take your time and go through those things to be able to overcome and see, or do you really have the mental and the stamina to really handle the success that you truly asking for? So
Yeah.
I applaud you on that, for not wanting to do it so quickly. You're actually taking your time and you're understanding yourself and you're learning, the ins and out firsthand instead of just getting that golden ticket, like some people saying, just riding it out. So I definitely
Right,
commend you.
right. I
So
appreciate that.
no problem, no problem. Like I said, I give credit where it's due, and that's definitely doable because, like you said, everybody nowadays more they want things handed to them. Don't nobody really want to work for nothing no more, or they feel like everything is owed to them because they do have family time. Like, oh well, I have this last name, so I'm entitled to. Like, no, we work for this. You have to put
Yes.
yours in, like we have to put ours in. Now we can help you, so it won't be as hard, but you still have to put in just as much work as we did. And it's like a lot of people are not understanding that. So for you to say that as a young black man, so I definitely commend you.
Thank you, thank you. I know that I've planted the seeds and now it's time to grow. Like with my sneakers, I'm bundling them up with hoodies and hats this fall and winter.
Oh yeah,
And
because I pair of them.
oh, I definitely got you. I got you.
Got to
You
do.
let me know your size and I will get it right out to you. I have other colors coming out, like red and black, green and black, and pink and gray. And then the next shoe is straight out of like the back of my mind with the designs. So I'm really doing a lot on my own. Thanks to my cousin saying like I could do a lot on my own, but there is so many resources and even the energy like from everyone else doing stuff, creating entrepreneurship. We really feed off of each other. So when someone else is like creating something, I'm so happy for them. And when someone else is talking about something, I'm so happy for them because I know this takes confidence, this takes consistency. And I've been ready, but I'm really understanding a few things that my uncle said back in the day, where he was like, really, he didn't have to say it too much, with slowing me down. I waited for it to be my time, but the
Right.
time is now. Like, I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff that I'm doing on my podcast, the Wilsurv podcast. It's on Spotify and Apple, and really being able to balance it all and not having too much of like a reliable source is something that I'm learning on because I'm feeding my own energy other than like I don't have a secretary or any team or anything, but I know
Well,
that the
nice
team,
though.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
It definitely be nice.
I really think that when it comes to a team, I'm part of a team of entrepreneurs like without even knowing it, because like really it comes from like me going to my college, Delaware State University, which is a HBCU, and
Oh,
it's
shout out.
really separate. Thank you, thank you. It's separate from a lot of other HBCUs. It's on the outskirts. It's right in the middle of Delaware. You got Howard, you got Morgan State there. A lot of people forget about Delaware State University and how it is a business school. So like really the concept of a lot of what I've learned my first year was thrown at me. So like it's really about how you really act off of it, but when it's the right time is what the concept. So like I think now is the right time. It's perfect time to like start planting seeds, which I did, and grow from them and then see what happens. But I'm really hopeful that everything is gonna work out the way that it needs to with me and everything comes together and books that I've wrote that I'm having self-published now because there's so many resources to create a lot. So that's what I'm doing. And that's a little bit about me. I think it's because my parents were in the military and I was too. I'm retired military. So like really the
Oh,
moving
yeah.
around thing and going different places to get energy, I feel like I'm finishing up with that and really being rooted in Atlanta. down here, surrounded by family on the outskirts, but really on my own, is really how it was supposed to be.
Right. So
That's
what
my journey.
so with you having family in the military, well, with your parents being in the military and you being in the military yourself, you had experiences to I'm sorry, you had the chance to experience different cultures and different things, so it was like they all tied into your creativity to where you're able to be so creative in the way that you are. So with the way that you do act and what you creating a sneaker, like my God, like that's not some, everybody tried to, but can everybody successfully create a sneaker? You know what I'm saying? So that's a different kind of level of creativity and then executing it. Because we like to talk the talk, but a lot of us don't like to walk the walk. So now that and then the fact that you say that you also podcast, so inform us on what all do you podcast about, and if the people want to be a guest or a host on your podcast, how do they go about it?
Okay. If you'd like to be a guest on my podcast called the Wilsurv podcast, you can really DM me on any platform, the word podcast. And if you um, really, I guess it's like a mission statement more for my podcast. My mission is to inspire others based off the knowledge that I have, to save you time, based off the experiences that I have. And really having a guest like come up there is something that I knew would happen. But there is a journey in podcasting that I wrote about with finding my voice. So now going into season 3, I pretty much am opening it up to guests, and I'm going to be talking about others creating and what inspired them, and how like sports can inspire you, how music can inspire you, how fashion is really subliminally talking to other people and letting them know like what type of person you are. I designed this sneaker because it is high top. It is called the Skybox because it can be seen from far away. Like you're in a skybox, and ankle support in our community is so important to not make sure that you
Right.
have any ankle injuries or you roll over. And you really want to be the best version of your court anytime you're doing something. So I feel like it's a medical shoe, but it's really a fashion statement. I love it.
Like I said, not too many people create a shoe or even have the dream about having their own shoes. So the fact that you created one and you executed it and you didn't give up and you didn't let nobody tell you that you couldn't achieve it, you know what I'm saying? That takes dedication, hard work, and a commitment. And within our generational time, it's just that's one thing that our generation is kind of like. I'm not gonna say it's fully depleted because you do have a lot of people who are executing it, but it's like a lot of light not being shined on those endeavors. So it's just like when you find those special individuals, it's just like you have to shine that light time street because it's just like within this world we glorify all the drama and all the the bad things and the messy things, but rarely often do we share those good moments or rare acts of kindness. Like you have to really film those things just so they can be seen instead of it's just like when someone is doing something messy or in a negative way, people pull out their phones super quickly. When you're doing a generous act, it's like don't nobody record it. It's just like
Right.
oh, it's just like nah, like it needs to be the opposite. It needs to be the fact of if somebody's doing something like that's drama, investigated, de-escalate that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You ain't got to entertain that because the more you entertain that, the more light you're giving it. And I just feel like that's backwards. So, like I said, to be in this community and this culture and to be positive with it is a different thing. And then, like I said, with you being a podcast, an author, an actor and stuff like that. And like you said, making your sneaker. These are many hats that you're wearing. So it's like I said, to be an entrepreneur and to be the man that you are in your establishment, like I definitely salute you and I definitely wish you the best on your journey to continue growing. And like I said, this is just one step in the future that within our collaboration that we'll be doing. But I definitely got to get you either a shirt or a hoodie because we're coming out with the new merch for Calor soon. So
I'm definitely gonna look into like getting the sneaker to you and future endeavors, like really being a part of it. I appreciate being on here so much. And really when I think about it, like it's part of the journey also, because like I know that like when it came down to speaking on this, I had my little bit of like confidence issues, but really I broke through those, and we're breaking ceilings out here to
Right,
make
right.
sure that like we control our own narrative. So like it's very important to me for a lot of people to get information that don't know about it. So I share a lot of information.
And that's one thing that we gotta get it back into, like really sharing knowledgeable information. And it's like I don't know why we hold. And I'm not gonna lie, like we're real selfish with that. But like I said, oftentimes that we also don't see that little trend to where you do have a lot more, young Black entrepreneurs sharing within that community of entrepreneurs or inspiring entrepreneurs. So that way everybody don't have to feel like they have to make it out in sports or they have to make it out in this. Like there's so many different things that you can do to make it in this world. It's just like a lot of people say, just find that thing that you love to do and just do it. You know.
Yes.
So with that being said, you guys, we're gonna wrap this show up. Well, got any last words you want to give to the people before we wrap up? Go ahead and let them know where they can find you. I'll leave all these links in the description below. But go and let the people know where they can find you and any parting words.
Well, I have a parting word because I'm very passionate about like everything that I create. I got some feedback like recently that helped me out a lot with trying to. The feedback was to make sure that I show consistency. So I want to let everyone know that consistency is the key, but really the message is strong. So make sure that you put your message out there so others can understand what you're all about and show up for the moment. And you can catch my latest episode of Wilsurv podcast, episode one, season three, on Spotify and Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. Um, Link in the bio on IG will really direct you to anything that I have going on right now. And I planted a lot of seeds and I hope to grow in the future. Looking forward to it.
And that's beautiful words. So, like I said, make sure you give us a like, comment, subscribe. I'll leave all this description links down below in the description. Y'all got to forgive me. It's been a long morning. Shout out to Wilsurv for being a special guest on our show today. We can't thank you enough. And y'all know how we end every show. Peace, love, and blessings until we see each other again. Farewell, everybody.